Have you ever encountered a child whose eyes were completely black? Imagine feeling an overwhelming sense of dread as they ask for your help. These are not just urban legends, but real-life encounters that have left people terrified. Stay with us as we delve more into the spine-chilling world of black-eyed children. Black-eyed children are a global, mysterious, and terrifying phenomenon that has been reported worldwide. These children, known for their eerie black eyes and emotionless demeanor, provoke an unsettling fear in those who encounter them. But what happens when these chilling stories become real-life encounters? In this video, we'll explore more real-life encounters from Las Vegas to New York City, uncovering stories that blur the line between reality and nightmare. We'll hear first-hand accounts of people who have come face-to-face with these unsettling beings. Get ready for a journey into the unknown as we uncover the truth behind the legends of black-eyed children. Stay tuned, because what you're about to hear will make you question every knock at your door and every shadow in the night. Our first story takes us to a deserted parking lot in Las Vegas, 2013. A woman was getting into her car late at night after a long day at work. As she fumbled for her keys, she noticed two children standing nearby. They looked to be around 10 years old, a boy and a girl, both with pale skin and dark hair. They approached her and asked for a ride home, claiming they were lost. Little did she know this encounter would fill her with a sense of dread that would change her life forever. Despite their polite request, the woman felt an overwhelming sense of dread. Something about their presence felt wrong. As they got closer, she noticed their eyes were completely black, devoid of any white. Terrified, she quickly got into her car and locked the doors. The children continued to tap on her window, insisting that she let them in, their voices growing louder and more demanding. She drove away as fast as she could, her heart pounding with fear but her resolve unwavering. She glanced back to see the children standing motionless, watching her leave. In 2015, a man in Seattle had a terrifying experience while walking home late at night. It was a chilly evening as the man walked home from a late shift at work. The streets were unusually quiet, and the only light came from a distant street light. As he approached the light, he noticed two children standing underneath it, staring at him. They looked out of place, dressed in old-fashioned clothing. When he got closer, they asked if they could walk with him, claiming they were lost. His initial concern for their safety quickly turned to fear when he saw their eyes, completely black like voids. He declined their request and hurried away, but the children followed him, matching his pace. No matter how fast he walked, their eyes never left him. His heart pounded as he finally reached his home, only to look back and see the children had vanished. A family in Kansas City reported an eerie encounter in 2016. One evening, a family was settling in for a quiet night at home. They heard a knock on their door and upon opening it, found two children standing outside. The children, a boy and a girl, asked to come in and use the phone, claiming they needed to call their parents. The parents felt an immediate sense of unease but let the children in. Once inside, the parents noticed the children's eyes were pitch black, completely devoid of color. As the children used the phone, their voices were flat and emotionless, and their eyes seemed to bore into the souls of the parents. A sense of dread filled the room. After making a brief call, the children thanked the parents and left. The parents later checked their phones and discovered no record of any calls being made that night. In 2017, a couple vacationing in Florida had a strange encounter on a deserted beach. It was a serene evening as the couple strolled along a deserted beach, enjoying the sound of the waves. As they walked, they noticed two children standing near the water's edge, staring at them. The children approached and asked if they could join them, claiming they were looking for their parents. The couple initially felt concerned for the children's safety, but their concern quickly turned to fear when they saw the children's eyes, completely black. They politely declined and started to walk away, but the children followed, insisting they needed help. The couple quickened their pace, the sense of dread growing with each step. They eventually ran back to their hotel, glancing back to see the children still standing at the water's edge, watching them leave. In 2018, a woman in a Chicago suburb experienced a terrifying encounter late one night. It was a quiet and chilly night when the woman, home alone, heard a knock on her front door. The sound was unexpected and startling. She hesitated for a moment before peeking through the peephole and seeing two children standing outside. The boy and girl looked to be around 10 years old. They were dressed in old-fashioned clothes that seemed out of place. When she opened the door slightly, they politely asked if they could come in to use the phone, claiming they needed to call their parents. As the woman listened to their request, She felt an overwhelming sense of fear wash over her. The children's voices were flat and devoid of emotion. When she looked closer, she was horrified to see that their eyes were completely black, devoid of any white or iris. Panic set in as she quickly refused their request and tried to shut the door. But the children became insistent, their polite tone turning into demanding cries. They banged on the door, their voices growing louder and more urgent. The sense of dread intensified, making her heart race as she locked the door and backed away. A man in Denver reported a chilling encounter in 2019. It was a late, quiet night when the man decided to take a break from his stressful day by sitting in his car in a nearly empty parking lot. As he relaxed and listened to some music, he saw movement out of the corner of his eye. Turning to look, he saw two children standing a short distance away. They appeared out of nowhere, their pale faces illuminated by the car's interior light. The boy and girl looked around 10 years old and were dressed in oddly outdated clothing. Curious but wary, the man rolled down his window slightly as the children approached. They politely asked for a ride home, explaining that they were lost. The man felt a sudden and intense sense of dread as they spoke. He looked closer and saw that their eyes were completely black. Fear gripped him, and he quickly rolled up the window and locked the doors. The children's expressions remained eerily calm as they continued to tap on the window, insisting that he let them in. Feeling a surge of panic, the man started the car and sped away, glancing back to see the children standing motionless in the same spot, watching him leave. Their black eyes reflected in his rearview mirror, sending chills down his spine. In 2020, a woman in San Francisco had a terrifying experience while walking her dog late at night. It was a peaceful evening, and the woman decided to take her dog for a walk through her quiet neighborhood. The streets were dimly lit by old street lamps, casting long shadows on the sidewalk. As she rounded a corner, she noticed two children standing under one of the street lamps, staring at her. They appeared to be around 10 years old, a boy and a girl, both with pale skin and dark hair. As she got closer, the children asked if they could pet her dog. Their voices were monotonous and devoid of any emotion. She felt an immediate sense of unease but agreed, thinking they were just curious kids. However, as they stepped into the light, she noticed their eyes, completely black like deep dark voids. Fear gripped her as she quickly pulled her dog away and refused their request. The children began to follow her, matching her pace with eerie precision. Their black eyes never left her, and she could feel their gaze burning into her back. She quickened her pace, her heart pounding in her chest. The children continued to follow her for several blocks, their presence sending waves of terror through her. In 2021, a man in New York City had a chilling encounter late at night in Central Park. It was a late summer night, and the man decided to take a stroll through Central Park to clear his mind. The park was quiet, with only the faint sound of rustling leaves and distant traffic breaking the silence. As he walked, he noticed two children standing by a bench staring at him. They looked to be around 10 years old, a boy and a girl, both dressed in oddly old-fashioned clothes. When he approached, they asked if they could walk with him, claiming they were lost. Their voices were flat and devoid of any emotion. His initial concern for their safety quickly turned to fear when he saw their eyes, completely black like endless voids. He declined their request and hurried away, but the children followed him, matching his pace. No matter how fast he walked, their eyes never left him, and their footsteps echoed his own. Throughout this video, we have explored multiple real-life encounters with black-eyed children from Las Vegas to New York City. These stories share eerie similarities: children with pitch-black eyes, insistent behavior, and the overwhelming fear they provoke. Each account adds another layer to the chilling legend of these mysterious beings. Have you ever experienced something you can't explain? Share your stories in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video if it gave you chills, and subscribe to our channel for more spine-tingling tales. Whether you believe in the legend of black-eyed children or not, one thing is certain: their stories will haunt you long after the lights go out. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay curious and stay safe.